There you go.
All right, so we are on class number 8. Yay. And we have Sarah and Debbie. Andrea said she would be joining us, and I believe Grace will be here as well. Beth is with her family. So this is our group. And before we start into the actual subject for tonight, were you guys able to print out that little thing? If you were not, it's okay.
I'm
Got it.
just drawing it.
Okay, that's all right. If you can draw a rectangle and some lines, you'll be fine.
I can handle that.
Nice. So before we start, I would love to touch base on our homework. And the homework was basically set a day, set a trading day. I'm going to try and adjust my light here. So trading day, was anybody able to set a day, especially Sarah? Debbie, I know that you are in the routine already of making your buys.
Yeah, I only got halfway through your class so far. I've got so much catching up with you and Hans and the last couple of weeks, so I'm a bit behind. I'll get back in the groove.
That's okay. Most important thing is your husband is home and recovering. So that's your homework. Take care of him.
Yep,
Um,
yep, he's doing good.
So Sarah, how about you? Let's do Andrea, yay, you're here. So a trading day, have you thought about it? Have you thought about, hey, this would be a good goal for me to check in once a week?
Yes, I think that's such a good plan because then I will be more likely to do it. I had set my hour that I was going to try to do that right off for the beginning of the week. I have a Monday morning hour. Because I figured if I got, for some reason, if something happened, then it's the beginning of the week, I still have a few days. But then my next day would be like Tuesday morning. If for some reason Monday doesn't happen, then Tuesday morning is my next. So for now, at first, it took me a little longer than I thought it would to land on a spot because I know our schedule will be changing once we start school back up. But I was like, well, I don't want to, I kind of figured if I need to change it then, I'll change it. But if I can be consistent. So yes, so that's what I decided. Monday morning at 8 is my hour right now.
That's perfect. And even if you just log on, buy the cheapest stock, a $6 stock, and just add to your position, add one. I'm going to spend $6 today. Even if you just do that, you're developing the habit of consistency and dollar cost averaging. So that's great. Not set in stone. We're just doing the tiny itty bitty little drops. Believe it or not, a drop of water will wear away granite or rock over time. So just be the drop of water. Be water, as people say. So Andrea, so we're talking about homework from last week and wondering how it's going with you setting one day to make that one trade a week or just buy that one stock.
Yeah, it has to be Monday through Friday, right?
Um, that's a good question. Ideally, it would be Monday through Friday between 9 and 4. However, as we learned before, you could always put in an aftermarket order that could potentially be filled. So if your schedule, and this is great for everybody, if your schedule was like, I am slammed this week, Sunday night, I'm going to put in that GTC order. You could do that as well.
I think I'm going to play with the aftermarket, and I think I'm going to do a little bit of, I'll do like Wednesday. like at 4. And then I might do an aftermarket like a Sunday too, just for fun.
Now, I do encourage you to try and pop in if you can when the market is actually happening, because you're going to learn a lot. And as you develop your skills, that's where the action happens. Sometimes I'll pop in and I like to go for 15 minutes, and sometimes I'll see a stock that I've been looking at is dropping and dropping, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's dropping. Let me buy one. Oh my gosh, it dropped again. Let me buy it for a lower, and it dropped again. So sometimes if you're doing it during market hours, that's where you're going to learn the most. However, if it doesn't work out and you've committed, hey, I'll go on once or twice a week, even if the market's closed, you're still building consistency, and that's a win. So well done. All right, so
Question,
yes.
in your experience, do you find any particular time of the day or day of the week where you find it's generally lower? Your stocks are running low, like Monday mornings?
Great question. I am not going to talk about whether stocks are high or low, because that is not actually what we're looking for. We're looking for the action, the volume of trading. And I find that Monday mornings and Friday afternoons, Monday morning, everybody's like, fresh start to the week. Let's go. There's a lot of volume. Who knows whether the market's going to be up or down, but the volume is there, and volume makes it easier to trade. Same thing with before the weekend. People want to get their trades in, and we never know which way the market is going to go. So I have some items that I'll buy when there's blood in the street. I'll hold on to it. And then on a high volume day, maybe there aren't any good deals for me to buy. But sometimes I'll say, hey, I can sell this and make a profit. Hold on to the money until there are some stocks on sale. So, and I'll give you
Done
one.
that.
Yeah,
I
so
haven't done that. I've been like more like Hans, just buying my buys consistent and that, except for when the market did really that big drop. I jumped in then,
yeah.
but okay.
So this particular strategy that I'm talking about is called swing trading. And I'll give you an example for one stock that I've done this with. And I don't recommend that you do it with this stock, because I know this stock, I have a history with it, I'm familiar with its ups and downs. And when the market drops, like what happened 2 months ago, Rail is what I like to pick it up. I can pick it up for like $4, and then over time it'll creep up to maybe like $6 over a couple of weeks as the market goes back up, and then I'll sell it and I'll make a couple of bucks. And it's not really about making $2 per stock. It's just for me to feel the market go up and down and practice my skills, if that makes sense.
Play a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, so you
That's a good idea. Finding something that's a good one to do that with.
yeah, I
You
like
said
Rail because it's cheap.
Rail,
Yeah, it's called
RAIL.
Yep. It doesn't pay a dividend. So
Yeah.
it's, and it can range anywhere from $4 to $12.
It's kind of like a long-term day trading.
Exactly. And that's exactly what swing trading is.
You're not hanging on to moment by moment. It's kind of like day by day or week by week, shorter than long term. Oh, okay. That's
So,
cool. That
you
sounds
know,
like fun.
yeah, it's just something to experiment. So that's a great question. Good question.
Thanks.
All right. So Today's scripture, and I think this is going to help all of us because sometimes we feel behind and sometimes we feel like, oh, there's all this stuff I don't know. This scripture is in Psalm 119. And if you don't know about Psalm 119, it's the heart of the Bible, smack dab in the middle. Typically, you can open up your Bible, boom, Psalm 119 is right in the middle. And it is a special type of poem where it starts with the Hebrew alphabet. Like each paragraph starts with Aleph, Bet, Gimel, and it goes through the whole alphabet, which is very unique. So the scripture that I have for us today, Psalm 119, verse 105. And I'm going to back up a little with 104. From your orders, I get understanding. Therefore, I have hated every false way. Your word is a lamp to my feet and a light to my path. Now, obviously, this is talking about the word of God as illuminating for us the path and the righteous path. Now, I want you to think that if you have a lamp at night and it's all dark and you have this little light like back in the olden days, you are not going to see miles ahead of you. It's not like fog lights in a car. It's just a lamp. And it's going to light your next step or two. It's not going to light up the next 10 or 12 or 25 steps. It's just going to show you where to place your foot next. And this is a great thing for us to remember for our lives when we get stuck, to go to our Creator and say, all right, Creator, here I am. I'm trying to do this thing. And this is how I feel. And just let his peace that surpasses understanding ground us and show us the next step. That's it. Oh, thank you, honey. My husband brought me some water. So obviously, we know this with the Bible, and what we're doing today is we're going to learn about candles. And in a way, candles are like a little lamp that can show you the very next step in the stock market. Literally, and why do you think they call it a candle? Like that just came to me now, duh, it's a candle. Put it in a little lampstand. And it will show you the next step. Is it going to show you whether the stock is going to go up and down and you're going to make $1 million? No, but it's going to give you clues. It's going to illuminate. So if you have your sheet of paper, and if you don't have a printer, that's okay. Just draw 2 rectangles. And I know this is like super light, but just draw 2 rectangles side by side, just really light. Just draw it really light, just 2 rectangles, because we're going to be filling in all the sides of the rectangle. And I'm sorry that these printed out so light. I should have had a thicker font, but. So the very first line, and I'm going to get a darker pencil. Here we go. So the very first line is going to be at the top of the triangle to your left. And I will show you. And, you know, we're going old school here. Writing things out kinesthetically is really helpful. So you're just gonna, are these letters backward? Can you read that? Oops. Andrea's whiteboard popped up. Did you do that on purpose? Who did that? What happened? Oh my gosh. All right.
Sorry. Did it
That's
go
okay.
away?
Yeah, it's away. It's away. Fun stuff with Zoom. All right. Can you read what that says? Is it backwards or is it proper? Okay. So top, you're going to put open. And the bottom, you're going to put close. Open and close. So we have the top of our candle, the bottom of our candle, and we're going to be burning our candle at both ends, if you've ever heard that saying. So this represents a period in time where the price of a stock begins and ends. Now, there's all sorts of periods of time. You can have candles that represent a minute or a 5-minute time frame or an hour time frame or a week time frame, depending on how long you're looking out. So you're going to choose the time frame, and whatever time frame you choose, the candles will show you, hey, this stock opened at $15 and it closed at $12, hypothetically. So that's what the open and close is. And then with our kindergarten and above skills, we're just gonna close up that particular candle. And let's go to the candle right next to it. And we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to write close at the top this time. We're going to change it up. And then what do you think we're going to put at the bottom? Exactly, open. And so now we're closing and opening differently, and we can finish drawing the body of the candle. So now we have 2 rectangles. And so far, not too hard. We have a body of a candle, and sometimes the opening price is going to be at the bottom. Sometimes the opening price is going to be at the top. So let's hypothetically say we're looking at a chart for the day. And we might want to buy a stock today. And we're like, I want to buy a stock today. I'm going to look at the candles. Maybe I can buy today at a lower price. Maybe I can shave a couple of cents off the stock I'm going to buy. But we want to know when it opens, what price it's opening at and what price it's closing at. How do we know? How do we know if the top means open or close? That's the question. And I'm going to give you the answer. But before I give you the answer, what do you guys think? Have you ever looked at candles? I know Debbie has. Is there anything you noticed about candles that might be our next step to answer that question? How do we know when we look at a candle whether the price at the top is the opening price or the closing price? Any guesses?
Does it change colors? Red and green?
Yes, exactly. It changes colors. Good job. Now, some people might be color deficient, like my husband. So instead of red and green, you can have your candles in black and white. And that's how they used to have candles. But now it's typically red and green. So if nobody is color deficient or color blind, we're going to stick with the red and green today. But just know that there is another option, which is great. So that very first candle, if you have your red color, that very first candle, you're going to color red. And if you don't have a color with you, then just color that candle black. That's okay. If you don't have crayons or pens or pencils or lipstick or eyeshadow, you can color it black.
Are we coloring the whole candle?
Yep, you're going to color the first candle, going to color it all red. So whenever, and as you're coloring it, I want you to look at where it says open. When you see a red candle, you know that the price dropped. It opened at hypothetically $15. And as you see the candles change, you'll see colors change, but when the candles have gone through their cycle, and we're going to say it's a 5-minute cycle, if the candle ends up red, you'll know, hey, it opened at a higher price than it ended. So let's say it opened at 15, maybe it closed at 12. So if something opens at 15 and closes at 12, what happened? And don't be afraid to shout it out. What do you think? What would you say happened during that 5-minute period?
The price dropped.
Exactly. So if it helps you, you can even draw a little arrow. So when you see a red candle, you know the price is dropping. And if you're a buyer, you're like, oh, red tag sale. How low is it going to go? The price is dropping. All right. So now we're going to move on to the next rectangle with our green crayon or marker or highlighter or eyeshadow. And we're going to color in that next candle green. And when you see green, you know that the price is going higher. And you can even draw your little arrow. So when it's green, it means, hey, we opened at 15 and the price climbed higher until it got to 18. So as you're coloring that in, you know, think of your green pencil as a grass blade shooting up into the sky, like a grass blade that is growing upwards. That's what's happening to the price. It is growing upwards. Okay, so far, candles don't seem too terribly complicated, do they? All right, now, here's where it gets a little fun. Let's go back to the red candle. Now we said, hey, It opened at 15. It's a red candle, so we know the price is dropping. And between that 5-minute time frame, as our hypothetical example, it opened at 15, and then over the course of 5 minutes, and we're going to look at a live chart, the candles get bigger and smaller, and it goes up and down. Now, sometimes you'll notice the colors of candles changing, but it opened at 15, it opened at 15, and it closed lower at 12. But during that 5-minute time frame, it might have popped up to 18 for half a second or 3 seconds. You know, it might have, so you can draw the line, it might have popped a little higher than the opening price of 15. It might have popped up to here in the first minute and then gone down and then gone up a little. And then maybe at minute 4, it went even higher and then came back down, down, down until it closed. So that just shows that even though it opened at 15 and closed at 12, during that 5-minute time frame, it popped up even higher than the opening price. And it could have also dropped lower than the closing price. That shows the range. That shows the range, the price range during that 5-minute time period. I'm going to pause right there. Let me know if that makes sense. I want you to absorb that because it's going to be very hard to read a chart if you don't understand the candles. Questions? Making sense?
Does it matter how long the sticks are?
They're called wicks.
Wicks, how long the wicks are?
It depends on what you're looking for. But this is just, it's just data. And we're not going to talk about interpreting the data just yet. We're just going to understand how the candles are formed. That is an excellent question. We're going to do the same thing with the green. Now the green, it opened here. Let's say it opened at 15, it closed at 18. But during that 5 minutes, it didn't just stay between 15 and 18. It might have gone 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 25, and then it dropped down. And maybe it dropped down a little bit more. And again, the same idea, it's just a range. We know that during this 5-minute period, at the start of the 5-minute period, it opened at 15 bucks, it closed at 18, but during the 5 minutes, it opened here, went up a little, dropped, boom, and it's just a range. Now, we don't know what color the candle is going to end up on until that time period is over. We don't know who's going to win, the buyers or the sellers, team red or team green. We don't know who's going to win. It's a battle between the buyers and the sellers, and this is the scorecard. I'm going to give you some terms that are important. And you'll hear a lot of this. Bearish and bullish. Typically, bearish is when the price is dropping and bullish is when the price is going higher. Now I have a few slides that we're going to look at to give you some more ideas on how candles work in reality. We're going to look at another chart. I don't want to go too fast. I don't want to go too slow. Has everybody seen candles before? Okay, Sarah hasn't. Andrea, have you? Okay, so how are we doing with the candles? Totally makes sense. Okay, I'm going to share my screen and I am screen sharing. And I just want to give you a few pictures about candles in general. Now, can everybody see the screen? Yay. So here are some samples of how our green candles or our bullish candles look versus our red candles or our bearish candles. And you'll see that sometimes you might just get a solid green or a solid red. And sometimes you might have a wick on the top and bottom. Sometimes you might have just a wick on the top, just a wick on the bottom. Sometimes the candle will be tiny, 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 and the wicks will be really long. And again, you don't need to worry just yet about what that means in interpreting the data, but you know right now, if you see this candle and it's all green, at what price did the stock open? Did it open here at the bottom or did it open at the top? And just shout it out. Let's just make this interactive.
Bottom.
Exactly, bottom. During this time period with this candle, did the price ever go past the opening price or the closing price?
Oh,
No.
No.
Let's move to the next one. Did the price move past the closing price?
yes,
Yes.
The opening price?
yes.
Excellent. Both the opening and closing. All right, how about this hammer? Did the price go past the opening or go past the closing?
Closing.
It went below the opening price.
Below the opening. So
Oh,
that's okay. That's okay. That's why we're doing this. Shout it. And you know what? If you're wrong, I would rather you shout out the answer and be wrong than just stay silent, because that's how we learn. All right. It opened here and then it went below the opening price. All right, let's move over to the final one, the inverted hammer. It opened at the top of the green, it closed at the bottom of that rectangle, but where did the price go during the time frame?
way up past the opening.
Absolutely, it went up past the opening and past the closing. So it opened right here at the bottom. The price closed at the end of the 5 minutes right at the top of the rectangle, but between that 5 minutes, it went way up and came down. Now, when you're seeing the green candles, it means they say in control. If the candles are green, the buyers are in control. That's a term that they use. If the candles are red, the sellers are in control. Now, I will be honest with you, I don't like that term in control, but it is the standard term. To me, it makes more sense to say that, let's go with the green candle. Green means the buyers are in control, but I like to say it means the buyers are active. If the buyers are in control, that doesn't mean you're going to get a better price. It just means everybody wants to buy. So the price is going higher. So green means the buyers are pushing the price higher. If you see red, it means the sellers are in control. The sellers are active. The sellers are unloading their stuff. The sellers are basically pushing down the price because they want to unload it. The sellers are more active. The sellers in the red candles are saying, hey, I'm getting rid of it. Even though the price is dropping, I'm getting rid of it. All right, and this is just a chart of what you drew. The bottom of the wick means the lowest price that actually happened. And the top of the wick means the highest price that actually happened. And then it opened and closed in the rectangle. Bless you.
Turn my sound off.
Okay, so this is just a picture of the black and white candles. Same thing, if you see black and white candles, you're going to pretend that the black candles are red. They're the bearish candles. And the white candles are green, the bullish candles. And this is just another example showing that color scheme. All right, and I'm going to show you a graph here with a whole bunch of candles. Now that you know what the candles mean, there's some kind of cool things about the candles. Now, I don't know if you're able to see my little cursor float around here. Are you able to see? Okay. So we're going to go all the way to the left, and you see this big green candle. The candle, where did the candle open?
Bottom.
Right. Candle opened at the bottom, have a tiny wick, and then it went all the way up, popped up a little, but then closed at the top of the rectangle. So if you see that candle, based on what we talked about, what are you thinking about the price?
Increased.
It's increased. So if it's something that you want to buy, you're going to be paying more for it. But if it's something you want to sell, you're like, oh, huh.
I'll get it for you.
Now, it's very interesting. Most of the time, you will see a pattern. The candle closed right at the top, and then the very next second, it opened. You see how the candles right next to each other? How they open and close right in the same line? So this big green candle opened here, closed here, and then boom, it opened at the same spot. So if it closed at $15, the next second it opened at $15 for the new candle, for the new 5-minute time frame. And again, we have another green candle. It opened at a certain price, it went higher, and then it closed higher. So the price is going up. You see the green candles, the price is going up. You move to the next candle and you see how they're just right in line with each other? It doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes you might have a gap up or a gap down, but it is pretty typical to see that even line. All right, so you're looking at this, you're looking at a live chart, it's going up, and you're like, oh my gosh, when is it going to stop? Sometimes you might notice things in 3s or 4s. It went up a lot. And then, boom, we see the red candle. It opened here. It went up a little higher. You see a wick. And if this were live, this candle would be green for a moment. It opened and then it went higher. But it didn't stay there. It actually closed lower. So then the candle would change color. You guys,
Following you.
okay. So here we're seeing, wow, now the price dropped. What's going to happen with the next candle? We really don't know. We had a bull run, then we dropped, and the next candle, it could be green or red. We don't know, but we have a pretty good idea what the candle is going to open at. The next candle will open where the last candle closed. So, you know, just take a moment to look at the chart and see the story. You know, can you see the story unfold as to the price action? People are unloading where the red candle, the sellers are more active and the sellers are selling more. Then when you get a green candle, the buyers, there's more people buying. All right, I'm going to close this.
Can I ask a question, Larissa?
Yes, please.
So I understand like what you're saying about the buyers are more active during the green and the sellers are more active during the red, but it kind of, I'm trying to make sense of it because doesn't it make more sense to buy when it's red if it's going lower? Or did I say that right? Or did I answer my own question?
Okay, so there are a lot of things going on besides just buyers and sellers.
Okay.
There's different transactions. Some people might be shorting a stock. Some people might be doing something called an options trade. So there are different strategies in play.
Okay.
And I totally understand what you mean because I felt the same way. I'm like, that doesn't make sense to me because so I had to try and come up with my own words to make sense. If you see green, it means more buying is happening.
Even though the price is increasing?
Yes, yes, yes. Because like you see the price go up, you're like, I wanted that stock. I either better buy it now before it goes higher,
Okay.
or it's just a time of day, or maybe there was something on the news and all of a sudden everybody wants to buy, or maybe there was something on the news and everybody wants to sell. The stock markets run on emotion. So I get what you're saying, but we say buy low and sell high.
Uh-huh.
What does everybody do? They do the complete
Yeah.
opposite.
Yeah.
They don't mean to, but it's emotion.
Yeah,
So
I see.
great question.
I have a question.
Yes.
So it's nothing that I gave thought to until today. We're actually seeing the body of the candles. Some are short and squatty, some are long and tall. Is that like the amount of buyers that are in the market that are buying? Is it representing that? No?
No, the candle, it's just showing you the data of what was the price at the beginning of
Okay,
that time period.
I got it. I got
Okay.
it. I got it. I
Um,
got it.
Now, if you're talking about volume, how many people are buying and selling, that would be at the bottom here. The volume, like how much activity. And after market hours, not a whole lot of people are trading. But during market hours, there's more volume, a greater volume of people. And we're going to get to a live.
So, back to that graph. If
Yeah.
if I was in the market to buy or sell, like to buy, so like that big long red one on the left,
Mm.
I would buy at the bottom. I would try to buy at the bottom of the red, right?
That would be the ideal thing, but you don't know. Is it going to go lower? It just dropped. And look what happened a few candles down. This wick, it
Yeah.
dropped even lower. The thing is you don't know, but there are a lot of strategies to give you clues that we're not going to go into, but there are strategies that traders use that can get very I mean, you could study candles and take a 2-hour class every day for a year and still not understand all there is about candles. Like people get really deep into it.
But just
I
to
don't.
just to understand the red and the green concept, that would be a place that I'd want to buy versus like at the green,
Well, you
right?
know what? Using that logic, let's look at this long red candle, a whole
Yeah.
bunch of green stepping up, and then here's another red candle. Um, would you rather buy here in the red or here in the green?
Okay. Yeah, and the green.
Right. So this is just giving you an idea of what's going on. All right, I have a few other charts that might help answer that question. And you will obviously get the recording on this. This is an idea of candle strategies to buy and sell. Now, typically what we're doing, we're buying cash flow assets. We're not day trading. But maybe you want to put some of your money into learning how to swing trade and day trade. So if you're buying those stocks to give you a cash flow, or if you have a buy and hold strategy, the candles aren't really going to matter that much. Because you're buying to hold, it doesn't matter. If your children, if you have the UTMA accounts for your 5, 7, and 10-year-old, doesn't matter if you buy at a high candle or a low candle, because they're going to be holding on to it for 40 years. But it still is good to understand this and to grow your skills. So in this example, we had a green candle. The price was going up, and then red, red, red. It's dropping, it's dropping. So if you were doing some sort of day trading, you bought high. You bought the green candle and you're like, oh, it went down. Oh, it's going down a little. Okay, 3 red candles. Let me sell right here and take some money off the table. I bought high, I'm selling low. And then you see it drop, you see it drop. And over here, 3 green candles going up. Where is it going to go? Is it going to continue to go up? Oh, no, another red candle. It went down, and then a big red candle. Is it going to go lower? You don't know until you see the next candle. Now you see that it's green and it's going back up, and you're like, oh, we just went all the way down. It's a green candle. I'm going to buy. And let's see what happens. See, this is more of a day trading type thing. And then maybe you bought it again. And you're like, I want a time to sell. So we never know what the candles are going to do, but there are some patterns that repeat. Now, there is something that is beneficial to know, and I talked about this a few classes below. Sometimes, instead of a lot of ups and downs, you will have a stock or a chart where the trading goes sideways. And over here to the left, you see there's ups and downs, but it's staying within a channel. And if you would like to learn how to draw charts, it's kind of fun if you're into that stuff. But as it's trading up and down, you see it kind of hits an invisible line. And they call that support, like an invisible floor. It's trading sideways and it's bouncing off that line called support. And then when it bounces up, it hasn't passed a glass ceiling or the resistance line. And you can draw these. If you look, you see it's kind of bouncing right in that channel. I'm not going to get into detail as to what that means. I just want you to be familiar with some of the terms for when we actually look at a chart. You don't have to memorize this. You don't have to apply it, but I know we all look at charts and you're like, what is going on and what does this mean? And if you do have any questions, you can jump in. I'm going to show you another chart. And again, I'm not going to get into it. You might want nothing to do with candles, or you might say, this is kind of fascinating. I want to break the code and I want to learn that language. So this, if you want to take a screenshot of it or a screenshot when you get the recording, this gives a little bit of an analysis of a chart. So that's it. Here we have a chart, the price is dropping, things are trading sideways. And while they're trading sideways, the question on everybody's mind, is it going to break through that floor, that support line, or is it going to break through that glass ceiling, the resistance line? We don't know, but we can take some guesses based on patterns. And again, back to the same chart. Now, looking at this chart, do you see an area where it looks like it might be kind of trading sideways?
Mhm.
Yeah, up here, right? It's trading, you know, especially right over here, you know, it's kind of trading sideways. It dropped through the support, but then it came back up to trade sideways. So this is the nature of the game. And I'm going to bring up a live chart. This is on Coinbase. And we're going to see if we can take some guesses over here. You see this candle forming right now. This is live. What's happening here? What can you tell me is happening right here?
Selling.
Selling, right? The price is dropping. The price is dropping. The sellers are, more people are selling than buying. Now this is I believe this is a 1 hour chart. And we're in 1 minute increments. Let's see if I can get it bigger. Oh, okay. So this is Bitcoin. Oh, look, see, you can tell the price opened at $117,709. And then it dropped. It went up and it dropped. It hasn't closed yet. So you can see it live in action. More sellers are selling, and there's still buyers. And we can look back and see if we wanted to buy Bitcoin today, we'd be happy that we didn't buy it at 117,878 because right now it's trading at it's trading about $1,000 lower per Bitcoin. And in case you wondered, you don't have to spend $117,000 to buy a Bitcoin. You can buy a tiny portion of it for 10 bucks if you wanted. Now, if you are interested in buying Bitcoin, that is when I would use the candles because Bitcoin is volatile and it can go up and down $1,000 or $2,000 in a single day. So if you want to buy some Bitcoin, you might want to just take a look at some charts. Now, what is happening? We see 3 red candles going down. The price
Who is
is,
selling?
they're selling. Price is getting lower. If you look over here, you have 4 red candles. What sort of trend is that? Bullish or bearish?
Bearish.
Right, very good, bearish. And it's a bearish trend. And just because a green candle pops up, that doesn't mean we're out of the bearish trend. We got 4 candles, a strong indication of a bearish trend. So we popped up a little bit, got another red candle. These 3 candles are pretty equal. Then we have some some candles of indecision, or like, where is it going to go? And then look, another 4 red candles. The body of the candle is not as wide as those. And I was going to say, yeah, we could guess you might get another green candle.
And this is after hours, right?
It is, but it is Bitcoin, and Bitcoin does not adhere to those before after hours. Bitcoin trades all of the world markets 24 hours a day, and you cannot trade Bitcoin on Schwab or a regular brokerage. So, let's just look at this action. We had 4 red candles. It's kind of hitting some support here. It broke through a little bit of the support. I would expect it to have a green candle. What's going to come next? I would guess a red candle because of the trend. I would guess we might have another red candle come up. I could be wrong, but there it is. It opened where the green candle closed, and then it went down. And now look, it's green again. Now it's going up. So you see kind of like the tug of war. What's the price going to be? Now it's red again. It's a little tug of war. You see the wick expanding. And if you were in this time frame and you wanted to buy Bitcoin, I'd say now might be a good time to buy Bitcoin. It might be. Questions? I can make, and again, this time frame is just a 1-hour time frame. Can you see where we can change the time frame? Down at the bottom. This is Coinbase.
I'm curious, what did it open at this morning?
The 24-hour low up at the very
Okay.
top of the screen was 117,190. The 24-hour high was 119.5. So that's 7, 8, 9. That's like $2,400 difference in a 24-hour period. Okay, so here we see the green candle again. Now we see the trend is going higher. We see this line. That's a little mini line of resistance right here where these candles are. Is this green candle going to break through that ceiling? I don't know.
Oh.
Now we have another red candle. Prices. So again, it's a tug of war.
So Larissa, I do have a question.
Sure.
I know you said this particular chart that we're looking at is live in Coinbase.
Mm-hmm.
So if we wanted to look at a chart, okay, so for this, I would just log into my Coinbase account and then I could find this chart.
I believe that the chart is if you upgraded to the advanced version or the
Okay.
pro version. And if my plan with Bitcoin is I want to dollar cost average into Bitcoin. I'm going to be placing trades to purchase Bitcoin throughout the month. Every time you buy or sell Bitcoin or these digital currencies, you get charged a fee. So you'll have to determine if the fees that you're paying are more than just buying the advanced portion of Coinbase. And you get a discount on the fees. So, oh, look at this. Look at just what happened. It broke. Oh,
Oh, it
Now,
did.
it popped through the ceiling with the wick, but it doesn't really count for breaking through the resistance until the body of the candle breaks through. And there it just did as I was speaking. All right, so the wicks don't really count as saying it broke through resistance or support. You got to wait till you have a body of a candle. And now look at this. Now people are like, shoot, I'm buying. Like, whoo, that's a long candle. I'm going to back out to the 4 hour, and we see that there's been a downtrend over the past 4 hours. Still a good opportunity to buy, even though the price is going up. It looks like it hit a bottom, and it looks like we're coming back up. I'm going to go to the 1-day chart, kind of trading sideways on the 1-day chart. Let's go to the 5-day chart. Again, really trading sideways. Let's go to the 1 month. All right, based on the 1 month chart, looks like we traded sideways for a while and then we jumped up a little. And then started trading sideways again. Let's go to the 3 month chart. We were low, kind of going up higher. And the 6 month chart, you see the volatility. I mean, look at the volatility over to the left. We have 3 very long red bearish candles, a green one, and then a very long wick down. Like, that's a lot of volatility. I'm gonna see if I can make it bigger. And if you look at this long red wick down, there was a lot of activity. A lot of people were trading right around that time. That's the volume. When you get a lot of people trading, the price can move a lot faster. So that's basically it for the candles. That's just candles in a nutshell. Any questions, candles, any questions about, while we're here in Coinbase, I'm gonna go to my portfolio. All right, I have 1 open order. And I probably put this order in at too low because it's not hitting 116. I should have kept an order around 117, but you know, that's why I put those GTC orders in. At some point, it's probably going to come down again to 116, I think. I could be wrong, but that might not happen for a month or 2. Could happen next week. Who knows? And if you are with Charles Schwab, they have a Think or Swim platform that you do not need to pay any extra money on, and you can look at charts for your stocks.
Including Bitcoin?
No, because Bitcoin's not a stock and it's not traded on Schwab. But there are
Okay.
some
Oh, that's true.
there are some Bitcoin derivatives, and you might be able to find some free charts with TradingView to take a look at Bitcoin. So there we are. There we go. That is it. How do you guys feel? Have your brains exploded, or do you feel like I'm so smart now? I know about candles.
It was a good refresher for me.
Awesome. And anything that you want to add as well. If you know, if you have a little tidbit that you want to share, any insight, questions, whatever.
No, I just was just taking a little class trying to learn options. And so that's when I started picking up learning about the candlesticks and how to interpret them. But that options thing is still mind-boggling. So
Options are,
not at my table right now.
yeah, they're intense.
Sorry, girls, I'm tired.
No, that's good. If you're tired and you need to go, that's fine. I want to be here in case you have any questions. I know it's 9:15, so we are, you know, we're just past the 1 hour mark. I hope this was helpful. Any questions about anything at all before we go?
Just to clarify, I know you said something about the Thinkorswim platform. Did I understand correctly that that would give us access to some kind of charts in the stock market?
Absolutely. And if you want, I will log into my Charles Schwab account and just show you really quickly where to find it.
Okay.
Again, at this point, I know Deb has been in the mix of things for a while and really prepared to go, you know, deeper into the candles. I did not even think about candles for my first couple of years. So Andrea and Sarah, you have a lot more than most people for somebody that just opened a brokerage account. I mean, that's intense. That's intense. So, and you don't have to use that information right away. I'll screen
There's
share.
even,
Yeah.
I think there's even, and I've kind of went in and glanced in to see what Thinkorswim is, but I think they also on Schwab have like little mini classes that you can take and they show you how to work around Thinkorswim for
Totally.
free, for
Totally.
free.
There's a lot of great support at Schwab.
Mm-hmm.
I'll log in, I'll show you how to get to Thinkorswim, and while I'm doing that, if you're about to fall off the couch and your eyes are about to close, you know, do what you need to do and we'll have the recording. But Sarah, I'll show you how to get into Thinkorswim.
Oh, gonna stick around. I want to see.
Okay. All right, I'm logging in. Okay. All right, I should be sharing.
Yep.
And the easiest way is to go to your top right and just type think, and then it will pop up. Thinkorswim. That's just the easiest. And you can click Thinkorswim. And here's what Deb was talking about. There's demos. You can watch a demo on how to use your Thinkorswim platform. All sorts of demos. I'm going to back up. Okay. Now we have a login. I clicked login and it went right to my Thinkorswim. You might have to set something up. If there's any confusion, call Schwab. They are amazing. Once you get into Thinkorswim, you can go over to charts. Click on charts. It makes it really easy. And here we have candles. Any stock you want to look at? All right, I'm just gonna do MSTR. And that's a stock called MicroStrategies. And knowing your candles, we see there's a lot of volatility, a lot of up and down. And then we had a lot of red. There was a lot of selling. And then some crazy red candles, even though we were in a downtrend. It's a long candle. But
Is that today? Yeah, well, that was just today.
yeah, that's today, and it's right now. You can see that there was kind of a big sell-off at market close. This was just before 4:30, and then once the market closed, I mean, we have all of this. Like this is nothing. These candles aren't even connected because it's after market hours. So you can play around. You can look at these things. Let's see how Apple looks.
Well, I heard that Trump mentioned the word tariff today and the market reacted.
Okay, and Apple, it looks pretty much like the same chart, doesn't it? It just kind of dropped
Yeah,
off a cliff.
yeah,
Let's look
right
at
about the same time too. Maybe that's when he said something.
Nvidia. Oh, yikes. That's a very
That's up and
sideways,
through.
very volatile. Lots of up and downs. But Nvidia did not drop off a cliff like the other two. So
No.
let me get out of here. Real quick, there was a final question that Beth had, and I just want you guys to know how to figure out your dividends. I'm going to go to positions, and I'm going to go to a particular account. Okay. All right, here there's Misty and YMAX right here in this particular account. If you go all the way over to the right, you'll see it says dividend yield, and you'll see numbers. That may or may not be accurate. The best way to figure out the actual dividends is to go to the website of the company whose stock you're buying. However, you are going to want to keep track of your dividends. Now, sometimes you can go up to the top to where it says investment income, and sometimes you can see how much money you have received in dividends. So in this brokerage account, it says that so far this year, I received $41 in dividends so far. In a different account, it says so far I've received 13,000 so far. And then this is the estimate. But what you need to do to determine accuracy is go up to transactions, transaction history. And I'm going to go to my old Roth that I had to take everything out of. And you can deselect all and you can check dividends to get rid of the.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
And
you could do that.
yay, learn something new. And here every month on the last day of the month, your dividends should be processing. So after the last day of the month, I wait 1 or 2 business days and I calculate the dividends by stock. So I just go, let me go to previous month, search. And there we go. These are all the dividends that account received. And I've got several stocks, and you want to keep track of this. It's going to help you. You should see the dividends start to increase. And if you see, oh, wow, this stock has cut its dividends and I'm hardly getting anything, it cut the dividends in half, you might think about selling and trying to find a better stock. Maybe that company is in trouble. I don't know. But you're going to want to track your cash flow. So that was I believe, to answer Beth's question about how to figure out your dividends. And you can certainly calculate your particular percentages. You can do the math or go to a ChatGPT or Grok and say, hey, I have this much stock in this ticker symbol. I paid this much for it. And this is the dividend. What percentage is that? What yearly percentage is that? You can do that. And you can go back to positions and you'll be able to look at the actual market value and you'll be able to look at cost basis. So you'll be able to know how much you spent, including dividends, and what the market value is. So cost basis means, hey, you put $1,000 in there and the dividends also bought a few more. So it's what you paid for the stock plus the stock that the dividends also bought. I like to keep a journal and know how much I actually paid for the stock. So I know, hey, I put $1,000 in and this is what I'm getting back. So, keep track of it, but it doesn't have to be a complex thing. And if you forgot to do that, you can always go through your transaction history and see how much you paid for something. If you don't want the dividends added in. All right, I hope that wasn't too confusing. I think my brain is starting to go to bed.
Stumble across itself.
But there we go. I hope this was helpful. And again, if you have any question or any thought, let me know.
Thank you, Larissa.
Okay. Put questions in our little group chat and I'll do my best to answer them there, or we'll wait until the next class. Continue to journal, continue to be consistent. And next week, I'm so excited, I have a guest speaker who is a cybersecurity expert who has worked for major corporations to help them develop security for their systems. So we're learning how to grow our money. We also want to know how to keep it safe. So I'm super, super excited for next week. It's gonna
Nice.
it's gonna be really, really great.
Love everybody.
Thank you, Larissa.
Great. You're welcome. All right, we'll see you next week. I'll see you in groups.
Okay. Good night, everyone.